With All-Star around the corner, obviously everybody's excited. This is one of the best times of the year, coming off of the trade deadline excitement and all the player movement, to be able to have this break and to now be again a part of the All-Star festivities versus being a kid that was watching it. Super excited. But I'm still that same kid. So I always look forward to the three-point contest. I always look forward to the dunk contest. The Rising Stars game is something I look forward to as well. I have in front of me all of the festivities that will go down. And in the process of me collecting all of the information and all of the participants, I realized that they brought something back, which is the shooting stars thing. Or maybe they didn't bring it back. Maybe they kind of just reformatted. But I know over the last few years when I've gone to All Star Weekend, they've tried to figure out different ways of doing this, I guess. I remember one year it was like Scotty Barnes and guys were making passes. I don't know, but we don't have the skills challenge. I see that. But we have the three-point contest, the dunk contest, and the shooting stars challenge. The shooting stars challenge, for my people that may not have an idea of what I'm talking about, it used to be back in the day an NBA player, a current NBA player, a WNBA player, and then a former NBA player. This year, they've made these unique teams. Like, for example, they have Team All Star, which I guess are just guys that have made an All Star game, which is Scotty Barnes, Richard Hamilton, and Chet Holmgren. They have Team Knicks. Shout out to my Knicks, which is Jalen Brunson, Allen Houston, and Carl Anthony Towns. They have Team Cameron, which is basically the former Dukies, which is Conker Corey Maggette, and Jalen Johnson. And then last but not least, probably the most unique and coolest team is Team Harper, which is Dylan Harper, Ron Harper Sr., and Ron Harper Jr. This is really dope. So they still kind of have that format. They don't have a WNBA player. I would not have mind them trying to figure out a way to involve the W. I feel like ever since we've incorporated the W, it's always been a hit, especially that three-point contest. I will never forget that. That was immaculate. But for this, my prediction, I'm gonna just I'm gonna ride out the team Harper. I'm gonna just root for the dad and his two sons, especially one of them being a rookie, to come in and win the shooting stars challenge, which I guess is like you shoot a little jump shot, you shoot a mid range shot, it's a 3-point shot, and I believe it's like the half court shot, and who could like do all of these different things the fastest. Yeah, I know I'm a Knicks guy. I'm always loyal to my team, but it's something about that father and his son's duo that's kind of captivating me right now. And then I do feel like my least interested team is Team All Star. Like Scotty Barnes, Richard Hamilton, and Chet is kind of just like random. I felt like the NBA got lazy with that team. Every other team I think is unique and dope. From a skill standpoint, I think the Knicks have like the best shooting wise. You have a sharpshooter in Allen Houston. Carlton Towns is one of the best big man shooters that we've seen all time. And Jalen Brunson is one of the best mid range and just efficient scorers in all the basketball. So from like a skill standpoint, Team Knicks might win that, but I am rooting for the Harpers. One of the biggest conversations every year at All Star is the dunk contest. We don't have a superstar in this lineup, number one. We also don't have Mac McClung, who over the last few years, a couple of years, has been the saving grace of the dunk contest, which is supposed to always be the box office moneymaker for All Star Weekend. Talk about just nostalgic memories and reminiscing. This was such a big event. Me, my cousins, my friends, that this was what you gather around the TV for as a kid. And I understand players being a little hesitant, but the fact that like we got two rookies in here, and then we also have two guys that are like not non-starters. Jackson Hayes is a rotational player. Kashad Johnson from San Diego State, Miami Heat guy, Miami Heat culture guy. Um, I don't know. I just wish we had a little bit more star power. The star power used to drive this. I remember watching Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire, and Steve Nash was trying to throw Stoudemire the lobs with a soccer pass, or like he threw a lob off of his head. I remember the Jason Richardsons, and so I love Jace Richardson being in it, but I'm not as familiar with Jace Richardson as a dunker. It's kind of crazy looking back. There was a time where we had a Vince Carter in a dunk contest. We had a rookie Kobe Bryant and Dominique Wilkins and Michael Jordans of the worlds. You know what I mean? We just don't have that right now. So hopefully one of these years we can get one of those star or all-star level players back into it and like really wanting to be there and participate. But from this, based off what I know, right? My prediction is that this dunk contest is going to be amazing. Here's my thinking. Number one, all of these guys aren't taxed, right? These aren't like heavily major rotational players. I mean, the most minutes played is probably Jackson Hayes on a Lakers team, but still, none of these guys are starters. None of these guys are playing 30 minutes a night. None of these guys are involved in anything else. From what I know, I don't believe Carter Bryant or Jace Richardson is in the Rising Stars game, but I could very well be wrong. And they all have something to prove. This is a big opportunity for all of these guys because I don't feel like any of them are household names. And then when you think about props, there are a lot of props that some of these guys could bring out. So Jackson Hayes has the advantage of having Luka and LeBron as teammates. And LeBron James will be there. He would be a fool to not incorporate LeBron James in some way. Carter Bryant has Vic. Does he jump over a sitting down Vic? Can't jump over a standing Vic, but maybe Vic sits down and he's still 6'11". I don't know. You have that. Jace Richardson has the best tool, which is his dad. And I hope Jace Richardson uses this opportunity and his platform to do more than just putting on the Jason Richardson jersey, right? Because we've seen that story 1,000 times. Let me put on my dad's jersey and let me do a dunk and I'm going to honor him. But, like, if we can incorporate his dad a little bit more than just a jersey swap, I think that would be dope. And then Kashad Johnson, I don't know. Is he bringing out D-Wade, right? Like, I'm not ultimately sure. The Miami Heat don't necessarily have that star player, but they do have D-Wade as a representative all the time for them. So I'm looking forward to the dunk contest, and I'm hoping one of those guys can do something that we don't expect. I'm just keeping the hope alive because I felt like the last few years we've kind of completely just shitted on the dunk contest. Rightfully so, some of that criticism is right, like it's deserving. But I do have a little faith that one of these guys can do some things. Like Carter Bryant is athletic as hell. Jackson Hayes has a crazy dunk profile. Kashad Johnson is athletic as shit. And I'm just not familiar with Jace Richardson, but hopefully the genes of being Jason Richardson's son can show out. And then the three-point contest, the main event of All-Star Weekend now. This is like leapfrog the dunk contest, and it's become must-see TV. The most interesting thing about this, and there's a few interesting things. Number one, we have Damian Lillard participating on a torn Achilles or coming off of a torn Achilles, which is unheard of. And I can only imagine the conversations or the excitement around a three-point contest if a Damian Lillard on one Achilles or one and a half Achilles can just flat-footed wise shoot the three ball. Or maybe he's looking, like this is our first time really seeing him. I haven't seen any footage of him working out. I haven't seen Dame that much since the Achilles injury. If he's looking a little bit more advanced than we know, that would be such a sight to see. You also have Con Knipple. We have Bobby Porter. So imagine a big man winning the three-point contest again. But then the last thing was like Trey Murphy, who was like top 5 in three-pointers made, I believe, and shooting the ball really well. Let it be known a night or two ago that he wasn't invited to the three-point contest at all. That was a little interesting for me. Overall, I'm excited. I am questioning the format. I will be honest. That's my only thing that has me kind of pumping the brakes on some of my excitement. I don't really like the All-Star game format. I'm gonna just come out and just say it flat out. I think our talent is so great and so overwhelmingly good that when we try to think of strategies and ways to hype up the game, I don't think we have to be too big brain. I don't think we have to break this game down into 6 quarters and we have 3 teams. It just becomes a full-time job to keep up with everything. And I think about the casual fan who's going to be at home watching the game, and just taking in the weekend in itself. It's just too much to follow. If I was my 11-year-old self and I was watching this stuff this weekend with my mom and whatnot, because she would always watch it with me, my mom would be asking a million and one questions about what is going on. And I always used to have the answers for her. But now when I think about the format now and all of the moving pieces, I would be probably just as lost as her. And so I think we got to get back to keeping it traditional, and we got to lean on our stars and motivate them and wake them up to play and put on a show, because it's a damn shame with how much money they make that they're complaining about All-Star Weekend now. we got to do better, and we got to bring excitement to our game and make sure that we send off the dedicated fans with a good show.
Hit subscribe for more news, highlights, and analysis from the NBA on NBC.